So we decided to put him in a nursing home. And it was very hard at the beginning because it was actually my decision to do that. My father left me in trust with his life, and it was my decision to put him in a nursing home. I didn't want to burden my mother with that. So it's a guilt that you carry yourself at the beginning, but then after a while you start realizing that he's really better off being taken care of there.
One day cry, one day I laugh.
Welcome, everyone, to Family Comes First. I'm Vincent J. Russo.
And I'm Victoria Roberts-Strogan. Thank you for joining us. When you're young, you think your parents are going to live forever. But as you age, you begin to realize that eternal youth is just the stuff of movies. Inevitably, parents need the love and care they gave when you were young.
It can be so difficult. But I can share the good news that my mom and dad just celebrated their 64th wedding anniversary.
Oh, congratulations. Congratulations to them. And to you.
Thanks. But I, along with my 7 siblings, find it hard to believe that they're in their 80s, and they may need care in the future.
Back in 2008, Peter Belmonte was a guest of Family Comes First, and he shared his story of caring for his aging parents. He had to make the difficult decision at that time to place his father in a nursing home. A little later, we will be speaking with Peter.
It is challenging, especially when trying to make sure your parents receive the care they deserve. Thank goodness we have elder care experts who can help navigate these waters. Joining us now are Mary Ann B., a private geriatric care manager, and Deanna Ebley, an elder law attorney with my law firm.
Welcome. Thank you both so much for being here. Thank you for having us.
Great to have you. Mary Ann, it seems like every family is touched with elder care issues as we're all getting older. What does it mean to be a private geriatric care manager?
Private geriatric care manager is usually a healthcare or human services professional that addresses adult needs as they're aging. Going out into the home to see how they are faring and doing assessments to be able to identify some of the problems that they're having.
So you're an independent, so to speak,
I have my own
in.
Private practice, and yes, I go in and do the assessments.
And the name of your practice?
Be Well Elder Care.
Great.
That's my last name.
Be Well Elder Care Services.
Correct. That's wonderful.
Terrific.
What sort of services do you provide to families? Well, I provide an array of services. Typically, my first step would be to do a very comprehensive assessment. I look at health status, I look at psychosocial issues, I look at medication, I do a complete assessment of the home, so I can start putting services into place. I often coordinate home care and put home care into the house. I do medication reconciliations and sometimes do medication pours. I provide referrals to elder care attorneys, to entitlement programs. I like to see that my clients are socializing and usually recommend adult day health programs or other activities that they could participate in.
So you're doing a lot. You're really stepping in almost like a child, but with all the knowledge and experience that most children don't have as caregivers. And I know from our experience in our law firm that we get so many calls and the caregivers just have no idea where to go or how to start, and perhaps they're not sure how to introduce the discussion with their parents about their needs. So I would think you step in that role sometimes as well, right?
Absolutely. I do communicate with the children. In fact, the children are the people that usually are calling me. The elder person is not, but the children are. So we work both with the older adult and with the children.
Great.
And you're teaching them how to take care. Absolutely. Yeah. Deanna, there are many legal aspects to planning for long-term care. First of all, who pays for this?
Well, we do an assessment to see what kind of assets the elder person, mom or dad, has, and then depending on what they have, it might be private pay, it could be Medicare may contribute a little bit of pay for some of the costs, or if they have long-term care insurance, that might cover some of it, and the last thing that would pay would be Medicaid.
Okay.
So we start with private pay,
Yes.
Maybe a little Medicare, you
Maybe
mentioned?
a little.
And then insurance.
Insurance.
And I would think at this time most seniors in their 70s and 80s don't have
long-term care insurance.
they don't have the insurance. And then it's that government program, Medicaid. We could spend the whole show on Medicaid.
Absolutely.
So let me just ask you one or two questions, Deanna. One, does Medicaid cover home care, and does Medicaid cover nursing home care?
Medicaid covers home care, but what I usually do is an assessment with my clients to see if home care is the right choice, because they do put some restrictions with regard to income, and so you want to do a cost-benefit analysis to make sure that it's the right decision based on any assets that they may have or the income they have. And Medicaid absolutely covers for a nursing home. With the cost of nursing home, we definitely encourage anybody that has an extended stay at a nursing home to seek counsel with an elder law attorney to help get them eligible for that program.
So as part of the process of assessing, I'm sensing that you may be calling Marianne or someone like Marianne, a private geriatric care manager, to help figure out what are those needs at home.
Absolutely, because in the home care world especially, I don't always get to meet the client to know what their needs are, and we want to make sure that they're at home in a safe environment and that they're getting what they need in the home, because you know, if it's not safe, then maybe a nursing home might be the better choice. And so we need help with geriatric care in order to understand what their needs really are. So
Is it difficult to qualify for Medicaid home care?
no, not at all. It's actually very easy to qualify for Medicaid home care. You just need to have the right person directing you.
Great.
So there's the financial aspects of the picture, and then there's the actual physical, mental, emotional, practical needs that are both very important in the equation, it sounds like. Deanna, what happens if your loved one lacks the capacity to make some of these decisions? How can you help mom or dad if they can't?
Well, the first thing that we do is we ask the family if mom or dad ever did a power of attorney or a healthcare proxy. If they haven't done those documents, which they're so important, anybody over the age of 18 needs them, that if they haven't done them, then we have to do an assessment to see if they have the capacity to do them now. And if they don't, unfortunately, you know, there are some families that reach that point, and then you're looking at a guardianship.
What happens if there's no one in the family to step in and help? You know, we have clients who are aging in their 70s and 80s, living alone. So how would you deal with that kind of situation when, let's say, a spouse contacts you and says, I'm having trouble taking care of myself, but my wife may have Alzheimer's, and we're struggling at home, and we don't have any family support?
We absolutely get geriatric care managers involved in a case like that, because we want to make sure that there's enough support for the spouse, because they're trying to take care of themselves and their ill spouse. So a geriatric care manager is crucial in that situation.
So now, we want answers and solutions. So what do you do in that situation?
Well, I actually work with the courts a lot. The judge will appoint me as a geriatric care manager to go in to look at the home environment and see if they're safe. So again, I start back with the initial assessment and see what's going on.
Someone would have to bring a court proceeding, though, a guardianship proceeding.
Correct.
So sometimes that happens and sometimes it doesn't, I would think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you're trying to figure out where to go in terms of how to provide care, and the couple are having difficulties of their own, you've mentioned you can go into court, and maybe a geriatric care manager like yourself would be appointed by the court to go in and help.
Correct.
Or else you're just working directly with the two of them.
Correct. And then I put, depending on the need, put services in the house. And that usually is home care. And, I start to see clients that are not keeping up with the grocery shopping, the ability to get out of the house, the ability to really manage the household environment. It sometimes then progresses to another level where they're having difficulty with the ADLs as well. So we might have to extend the home care, more frequently than it had been previously. And then sometimes people need some additional supervision, and assisted living might be an option for them.
And I would think you hear it all the time, and we do as elder law attorneys. everyone wants to stay at home. No one wants to leave their home.
Absolutely.
So I think the coordination of the private geriatric care manager and the elder law attorney working together is the best formula for a successful outcome. So we're going to wrap up now, and maybe you can just quickly give us a suggestion or parting tips that you'd like to share with our viewers if they're a caregiver. What should they do?
Caregiving job, some families do caregive for their loved one, and it can be a very stressful stressful situation for them. They could have increased amounts of illness and stress, and therefore really they need some respite. Caregivers need to get out of the situation for a little while to make sure that they're not going to suffer from the extended caregiving that they have to do.
Great. Thank you both so much for being with us on Family Comes First today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One of our first programs in 2008 featured Peter Belmonte and his parents. Before we visit with Peter today, we'll take a look back at what they were facing at that time.
My husband had the first stroke November 1st, 97. I never believe my husband talk again and walk. But the second stroke is finished. 2003. In Italy, he have a stroke. My life today is, in beginning, this thing, it's very miserable because I don't drive. I don't want to depend on my kids. I want to go see my husband every day. Now, I say, God, give me healthy to support my husband. The cross, I put it on my shoulder. That's it. Because I want to go over there, I see the other people more younger than my husband. Very bad shape. Very bad shape. That's it.
So we decided to put him in a nursing home, and it was very hard at the beginning because it was actually my decision to do that. My father left me in trust with his life, and it was my decision to put him in the nursing home. I didn't want to burden my mother with that. So it's a guilt that you carry yourself at the beginning, but then after a while you start realizing that he's really better off being taken care of there, and we just do our best to always be a part of his life every day and every weekend. It took me a little while to figure out how to adopt as a son, a father, and a husband. But after a while, you start learning what's more important. If my wife is sick and needs to go to the doctor, and I know my father's in the nursing home is comfortable, then that becomes priority. It's important that you go visit them and just give 5 minutes of their time to see how things are going. The caregiver and the person in the nursing home misses those people.
When my husband comes home, I look like I feel normal when my husband's here. But when I bring him back, I suffer every night. When I left over there, especially when I don't sleep, I suffer. I pray God, because sometimes when I feel very down, I don't feel good, I say, God, give me strong, because I want to do this thing. I want to go. Sometimes my kids say, "Man, don't go one day. Why I stay alone over here? I have no friends over here, all strange people. I want to go to see my husband." One day cry, one day I left.
We are talking today about how to take care of mom or dad, either at home or in a nursing home.
About 3 years ago, Peter was our guest as he, along with his mother, had to make the tough decision to place his father in a nursing home. Now he's back to give us an update on his family. We're now joined by Peter Belmonte. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you both for having me.
Welcome.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Peter, I have to start with first offering our deepest condolences with your father passing away earlier this year.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
know that had to be difficult.
It was, but it was the best that happened to him because he was suffering, so God took him at the right time.
And your mom now? There have been a lot of changes. How's she doing?
She's Well, so unfortunately, she just got diagnosed with multiple myeloma at this time, and I thought this was going to be the years where she could relax and enjoy her life. But she's got a great personality. You know, she takes whatever God thinks she can handle, and she's doing a great job at it. She just started her treatment. She comes home and she starts baking and cooking. So she's got a good attitude, and I think she's going to be with us for a long time. Thank God.
Well, that's wonderful. You could see from the interview that we did a few years ago that she's very vibrant and full of life.
She is.
Absolutely.
She is.
Yeah.
Still waiting for that invite home.
And you will be invited. All of you will be invited.
For a meal.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And the cookies.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we had as you know, my father passed away June 5th, and we had to arrange the viewing and the funeral, which we had in this country, and his final wishes was to be shipped back to Italy, to his homeland. So that's what we did. We organized it when we flew, my mother and I.
It's beautiful.
And his body flew back to Italy, and we had another viewing there, and a funeral, and it was wonderful. We had it in a chapel in a small town of southern Italy named Biteto Bari. And all his friends and his family came with an all-day event from 9 in the morning till 5 p.m.
Beautiful.
Then we had a mass at 5 p.m. to 6, and then it's like the South of the United States. You walk behind the casket throughout the whole town, and I had the privilege of doing that. That was probably one of my most proud moments that I had to do, to accompany him to his final rest place and watch all his friends stand along the sidewalk in the town and salute him and give us strength and give us that condolence.
It's an incredible story.
What a wonderful tribute to give your father, and to follow through with his wishes.
Even though he was passed away, but it was a great feeling that I know he was there again, and his friends were around him, and that's what he wanted. So I knew he was happy.
It must have been very meaningful for your mom, and also the grandchildren.
Yes.
How are they with all this? I know you have a very connected family.
We do. They were very upset when he passed away, but they just knew that. They saw the 7 years of the suffering he did, that he really couldn't move, or towards the last 2 years he couldn't even speak, and he was really, going down. So they kind of felt sorry for him. So they, as much as it was a loss to them that they lost him, but they knew it was the best for him. That, unfortunately for 7 years they only saw him in a pajamas or in a robe.
Right.
As crazy as this may sound, but when he was laid out in his casket, it was the first time my children seen him in a wonderful suit after 7 years, and he looked magnificent.
Yeah.
Wow.
Peter, you say 7 years. He was in a nursing home over 7 years, and I know there was home care before that.
Right.
And the average stay in a nursing home is a little under 3 years. And I truly believe that it's your mom visiting every day, ensuring the quality of care. Can you talk a little about the experience that you and your mom went through as caregivers? Sure.
First, we researched a lot of nursing homes, and we found one that we really appreciated it. But we promised him that if he was going to stay there, we were going to be part of his life every day, almost every day, as much as we could, and it was every day. My mother used to go there 7 days a week.
Incredible.
Spent from 12 to 5:30, 6 o'clock with him, play bingo, make sure he was okay. And
for years, you said?
For years. Yeah. 7 years straight.
Incredible.
7 years straight. If she was sick and she couldn't go, then either I would take over or my sister, but somebody was there with him, mainly my mother. And she became very good friends with all the people in the nursing home. They became family.
You told us that she still goes. She's still connected.
She's still connected to them. She still invites them over to our home in Valley Stream. She cooks for them. She sews their clothes to them when they rip or they need a hem. She loves it, and she does. She's gone back once or twice to visit and spends the day with them, and they will pick her up again and take her. But she's connected with all the people there. She used to bake for them and make cookies for the patients, and she used to feed them.
How about the Jamaican music?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, there's a wonderful aides there that take care of them, and they're from the island of Jamaica, and they got her into the Jamaican music, and now she's got a couple of CDs that she listens to. She loves it. She just loves it.
Right.
She sounds like she embraces life.
She does, and she's going to be 84 this December. So she always worked all her life, and she just loves it. She still keeps going.
What do you see as some of the challenges in taking care of her over these next few years? Planning things that you could do.
Well, we're pretty much planned, thanks to Vincent. We, both of them are taken care of with that in that sense. But we just want to make sure that she's going to get the best care. We taken her to the best doctors. She may be moving in with my sister now downstairs. She has an apartment, so she'll be in company all the time instead of living alone, because she was very thick. She didn't want to move. She wanted to stay in her own home.
Well, everybody wants to stay at home.
Sure.
Yeah,
of
but
course.
she's now, I guess she's understanding her limit, that, now I need to be in a home with somebody, in the building at least, so if I need assistance. But we're pretty much all set. We're just going to make sure that she is getting good care from the doctors, and she's not in pain, and she's going to be in good health and take her medicine. We check up on her every day, make sure she took her pills and whatever she needs done, and we'll just keep following them, follow the doctor's instructions, and make sure she's here with us for a while.
A quick message that you'd like to give our viewers, reflecting on your experience as a caregiver. What would you say to those who are in now a situation similar to yours?
Well, unfortunately, I learned the hard way. I came to you in crisis, and that you shouldn't do that. You should really sit down with your parents or your children and explain to them, if something happens to me when I get older, this is what I want, this is what I need, and this is how I want it done. So everybody's on the same page together. And then just go see an attorney, an elder care attorney, and just get everything in order. So this way, you don't have to think at the last minute when you're trying to take care of somebody who's ill and now getting your papers in order. You just really should think ahead. I wish I would have done that. I didn't do that. I waited to the last minute, and then when my father got sick, there was a lot of running around. It was very stressful in my house for a while. I had my own family and taking care of my dad and getting his paperwork in order. But then my wife, Teresa, sat me down and said, we have to do A, B, C, and D. Take it easy, because then something could happen to me.
Right.
And then I could be 6 feet under, and there's